team. I don't want to use the age word, but this American team, they know each other so well because so many of these faces have played at multiple Olympics together.
They certainly have. As we're about to get underway, it's VNL Week 2 from Ottawa, Argentina, with the first serve to the United States. And it's Matt Anderson scoring on his first swing out of the back row. And the Americans take the first point.
That looked really comfortable, really in system. I'm interested to see if there's almost some jitters for the Americans, given this is that's the first point we've seen them play as a unit all year.
We'll see. Only time will tell about those first match jitters. As Christenson, captain, goes with his jump serve. The deflection at the block by Max Holt. And Russell turns it on the counterattack out of the back row.
Yeah, and you see Lasser there in the front get a piece of it. I was speaking with him before the game, and he says, asking about the pressure. How do you deal with this, knowing that you need to get some points to keep in your Olympic spot? And he said, we're used to it. That's what we do as athletes. We're used to pressure. Yeah,
Olympic qualification points on the line, world ranking points on the line in every match for every team. Good cover off the block. Polanski with the second chance, and this time he scores off Anderson's block.
Yeah, and he is one of those players, 24 years old, that's kind of brought a fresh look to this Argentinian team. Lots of them are experienced from that bronze medal at the Olympics, but there's some young players, also Vicentine, who are young and just bring a new look.
Speaking of experience, Luciano DiCecco. This is his first serve into the net.
Yeah, one of our players to watch. He is one of the leaders that Marcelo Mendez is counting on to really raise the level of this group if they get skirmishy, if they get nervous.
Now here's the first serve for TJ DeFalco. Short, played up. Lasser steps in the set over to Lima. A high ball against the triple block, and he scores.
Interesting decision there, as DiCecco says, okay, yeah, middle blocker, you can take the set. You couldn't get there quite in time, but I think it's interesting that DiCecco didn't quite go for it because he's an agile player. He takes control, but hey, his middle blocker does a nice job setting it.
Faith in the middle, it's gotta like that. There's a chance for Anderson. Good deflection. Polanski runs it down, but there's an Argentina blocker into the net.
Yeah, and that's Lasser. And you see he's got some kind of a padding on his right leg. I think he's dealing with just a little bit of a nick here, and that's one of the things that they couldn't afford to not bring their top stars to that week 1 in Rio, and so they're going to be a bit bruised here, even if they do make the Olympics. They don't have that luxury of time off like USA did.
They did get to travel home to Buenos Aires, where they spent a few days in preparation before coming up to Ottawa. I spoke with their assistant coach earlier today. Got the lowdown on that. Max Holt missing his first serve, just wide though, like that line-to-line serve from him. Early action, 3 serving 4 for Lasser. Oh, the overpass results in a quick point for Serba in the middle.
And I love Micah Christenson going up, trying to almost sell like he might have the set. This is such a tricky veteran setter move there, and then just dropping your hands. Sometimes, if you don't have an experienced middle blocker on the other end, you actually get the point and it just drops over.
Better pass this time from DeFalco, gets it right back. And the pick attack, as smooth as can be that time.
Here's an unofficial stat I like to keep. TJ DeFalco, when he comes in from the back row and makes the attack, how many times does he actually cross the center line after the ball hits the ground? Because I am going to say it's close to 95% of the time. But he always scores, so he can do it.
Oh, make sure our statistician stays up on that one. Polanski with the bump set over to Lima against the triple block. He's saved from Shoji. Tough spot for Christenson. Puts it over. Polanski on the big attack, comes under after the swing, and he scores the point.
Yeah, that was a solid back row attack. The speed that DiCecco gave this out at, if you're not watching, you almost think it's a front row attack in that nice kind of 40 position, right between the middle and the outside hitter.
Opposite hitter now, Lima with his jump serve, and it's a winner. Service ace for Lima.
So I'm not surprised at how evenly matched this is, 6-5, early lead for Argentina. Both teams just trying to find their groove. I mean, all the travel can be really hard on your body too when they've come around the world. I mean, not for the Americans so much, but for the Argentinians.
Another overpass. Uh-oh, miscommunication there, but Serba through the middle gets it from DeCecco, and he scores.
Yeah, and they're going to really rely, Argentina, that is, on Danini to be the captain of that backcourt. And I'm surprised he didn't communicate a little earlier. That, to me, could suggest a bit of nerves, just, you know, kind of feeling the rhythm. Danini, best receiver, best digger at VNL 2 years ago. I want him to take a bit more control of the court.
One of the strongest liberos in the world. It's from Argentina, but what a one-handed set from DeCecco. Goes to Serba, and he hammers it down.
And this is why DeCecco is one of the most elite setters in the world. Look at this. He's just trusting that Serba is there. He gets up, gives him an option. Great communication. And just a fantastic play by Argentina.
And all of a sudden, a three-point burst here for the Argentinians. They're up 8-5 in set number 1. There's Russell on the left side. He gets picked up. Attack from Lima, goes off Shoji and up into the crowd.
Now I'm interested to see where the Americans' block was on this. If there was a big seam left, because Shoji to me was reading it really well. Here's a better look. Yeah, so he goes right down the seam, and that's tough when DeCecco is just dishing it out so quickly.
Let's listen in to Coach John Sparrow.
Super assertive on those seams. We're seaming with 4. We should be able to cover that. Front and back, be decisive. Get in there, cushion that ball, okay? Get in at 10 feet, right there. Hey, on the out-of-system stuff, when they're shooting the ball around, make sure we're on the outside hand. After you serve, deep ball, double top. 1, 2, 3, USA!
So you can hear John Sparrow talking just a bit about the out-of-system stuff. You know what's interesting for this American team? He was talking yesterday about how they have this ability where right now this is the first time on the court and they're going to be rusty, but he wants them to get better and have great competition. They're getting this in Argentina. This is a team that's fighting for their Olympic lives. But it's also about handling the volume. So I think we're going to see a different lineup as we get game to game because the Americans are playing 4 games in 5 days. They have to manage this group.
Yeah, they certainly do, and they've got their hands cut out, or their work cut out for them. They're playing Italy on Thursday, Serbia on Friday, and then closing out the week against Canada.
And that's a lot of competition in a short amount of time. So it's kind of like, hey, welcome to VNL. You missed week 1. Well, we're going to give it to you in week 2.
And that match against Italy is going to be a battle indeed. Italy currently ranked number 2 in the world, and USA number 3. So Americans got the side out. Here's Aaron Russell with the jump serve. Zenton gets his swing, but a good deflection. Micah on the run. Attack for Argentina, off speed, dug up. Anderson on the right, goes down the line, and misses that one wide.
Yeah, and immediately when Anderson landed, you could see he knew he had hit it just out, and there's a lot of communication here between him and the setter, Christenson, and I'm not sure if they're deciding if it was in the right position, if the tempo needs to be different. Just
serving 6, pass in from Shoji. Quick set, one-handed scoop. The libero, Polanski sets it through. Anderson, cross court, still going. Free ball sent over. DeFalco gets it through the block and down for the point.
Man, I was gonna say defense clinic here from Argentina. Argentina, Danani gets a big dig. And then I believe it was Lima in the back row that gets a big dig, and then they just can't quite press over for that block. But that would have given a lot of confidence to the Argentina side.
The Americans have to expect long rallies, multiple swings. This Argentina defense is very strong. As Jendrick misses his jump float serve long through the inline.
Tough to get into a rhythm when you're missing serves like that. And as you can see, Argentina up by 4. They're probably feeling pretty good about themselves right now. But I just keep thinking the Americans are just finding their groove right now. It's a matter of when are they going to turn it on, right?
Yeah, absolutely, Claire. Still a long way to go here in set number 1. Americans got to tighten up their passing, and there's a good start as Micah falls away. He goes to that 31 set to Max Holt.
Yeah, best middle blocker at Volleyball Nations League a couple years ago in 2019. And at 37 years old, he does not look like he's slowing down.
Christenson is off-speed jump serve. Vicente goes with the big, but it's called out of bounds long.
He was looking for a touch. He was hoping he got a fingernail somewhere along the way, but not quite, and it's just out. And he was one of those players that, before the game, Augustin Lasserre said he's brought so much fresh air to this group. He's one of the depth players that now Argentina can rely on.
Big block there by the U.S. Triple block on Lima's high ball set. You can see Argentina out of system this time.
Great close there. That's just a massive wall by the Americans when they get that triple block nice and closed up.
So the Americans chipping away, now just down by one. Their off-speed serve. Checo goes back to Lima, and he gets blocked again, this time by DeFalco.
And I think Lima might have even had the tool, but the block comes back so fast and just connects with his leg, so he couldn't get out of the way. And Vincent right now is just struggling a little in serve receive. The past two balls have been targeted at Vicentine in the middle. Christenson goes for him again.
Strong serve that time. Lima, cross court, one-on-one, and he scores the winner.
So they get out of it. That was just a tough rotation there for Argentina. And sometimes you got to slow it down, just simplify it. We don't need to be too fancy in the front row.
So 3 early points for Lima as Checo goes to his second serve. Unfortunate play there going against the Americans. Good Argentinian block though.
Yeah, and this is a good recovery too. You know, they gave up a couple points. Get the swag back there. Lasserre leading the charge in the front row.
So back to a 2-point lead for the Checo. His serve. Ball in. Another chance for a hole, but he gets dug and it goes over. Falco from the right side goes for that quick set to the pin, and he scores with the cross-court winner.
Yeah, and Polonsky, right when he landed, I think he knew that he took that block way too far on the outside. Here we go. He's reaching, and that leaves space open for DeFalco, who takes advantage. But when you reach with the block, that's not set. You need it to be nice, solid, and a still.
Let's see what DeFalco he does here from the inline. Goes aggressive this time at Zintin. Lasserre tips it over. Christenson with the dig. DeFalco with the set to Russell. Good recycle. Third chance for the Americans, and Russell scores from the left side.
There was some really nice coverage all throughout that rally. Both teams getting blocked, but both defenders being there. And then in the end, Russell, nice pound here, cross court. Look at that, right down the seam to 6.
The skill of recycling that set off the block and keeping the ball on your side to get a chance. Paying off for the Americans. There's an overpass.
Oh, wow!
What a dig. Ball. Surprised we haven't seen a challenge come in.
Now I think the top referee, first referee, believes that Shoji contacted that ball as it was going out. And Shoji's, yeah, he's taking it. He's saying, yeah, I did touch it. There's no need to challenge that. But I don't know if we're gonna get a replay of the coverage, the kick. Is Messi playing for this volleyball team? Look at that, woo, way up. That's absolute perfection. And the rest of the team supporting him to get the point.
There's a reason why they play soccer in warm-ups before the match starts, especially if you're from Argentina. Russell against the triple block, hammers it off the block and up into the crowd. Midway through set number 1, tied up at 14 all. Holt with his jump serve. Side to Vicente, and he is stopped at the net by Matt Anderson and Jeff Jendrick.
Well, Matt Anderson, 202 centimeters. Look how high he gets there. And a great close also by Jendrick. I know Jendrick didn't actually get a contact on that, but when you go up there as a hitter and you see two guys like that, that's intimidating. There's not a lot of places to go. You got to kind of try to use the hands, tool it, maybe try to go farther down the line, but that's a really tough shot.
Well-formed block by the Americans to regain the lead now. Good ball in from Donani. Goes quick to Loser, and he scores on the wrist-away swing.
And DeCecco is doing a great job of really pushing it to his middles. You've seen a couple passes off of the net, not ideal, but DeCecco still goes there. This one's a perfect pass. Usually they like to set outside, but not in this case.
Loser, one of the best in the business when it comes to body control and contorting his arm swing to make good contact with that low set sometimes. Now he finds himself at the inline, tied up at 15. That was aggressive. Christenson on the run. Missed connection, just a free ball over. Advantage Argentina, and Zerba puts it away.
That's really uncharacteristic. Christenson knows when he's front and back row. It almost looked like he was setting Matt Anderson up in the back row. And they're just forced to give over a free ball. And in that case, Argentina, you got to put it away.
Just shows you cannot give away free balls at this level. And if you get one, you've got to capitalize on it. They take the lead back. 16 serving 15. Here's Russell into the block and thrown down by Bruno Lima.
Now Bruno Lima is the best scorer at the Olympics in 2021. He wants to get back there so bad. And this is an interesting challenge for the United States because they know that the teams they're playing are hunting for that Olympic berth for the most case.
Targeting service. Targeting service. Like Vicentin. Second, different. Not change nothing different. Like closing fast. Off, leave one ball. Off, leave one ball. And deep in high ball. And deep in high ball. Okay? More aggressive. More aggressive. Let's go.
USA assistant coach and former Argentina national team player and coach Javier Weber talking to the players during that timeout.
And yeah, as I was saying before, Matt, it's like you want the best competition in the world. John Spurra was saying that yesterday. He's like, this is great. We're going to get the best tests in the world before the Olympics. We know we're going, and what we need to do is figure out what our roles are. Now, many of these guys know that they're going to be starters, but just getting more comfortable in those roles and defining some of who's coming off the bench.
Back to action now. There's Jedrick through the middle.
Nice, clean attack. You know, this is just the rhythm of a great pass up to Christenson. Not a lot of movement, and I love the slow motion because you can see Jendrick's just flying there. He's ready. He's like, where's it going? Okay, I'm going to go to 5.
Good vision for the middle attacker there. USA still down by 1, though, for Anderson. And Lima scoring on the perfect pass offense by Argentina.
Nice chip off of the block for the opposite hitter here. Again, he's got kind of one block. Jendrick's just floating, and if you see a floating middle blocker, you actually want to aim for them because that movement can play to your advantage if you can take it off their block.
Good swing that time down the line seam from Matt Anderson. That right side attacking has been working well so far, Claire.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, he's the most experienced player possibly at this leg of the VNL. 325 international games. He's an Olympic bronze medalist, and he's kind of the guy that they're going to go to if they need somebody to score.
Russell goes aggressive, but misses that one just long. So some early service errors by the Americans here in set number 1. That's service error number 3 for them.
Both of these teams also have played at TD Place at past VNLs. The Americans were here last year. The Argentinians were here last year. They know this building.
So no stranger to the facility. The playing surface as Palacios goes short. Here's DeFalco. He goes angle, catches the net, and that ball travels wide.
I liked his aggressiveness with that sharp angle. He's almost going, you know, right for the attack line on that far corner, just misses it out. But as you can see, that's a gap where there's not a lot of defenders, but that's where the block's taking away. So that's a hard shot to make. He's just got to angle it a bit sharper.
Here's Palacios. He came in to replace Vicentin earlier. Ball in from Russell. And DeFalco with the second chance. Doesn't miss that time.
I thought we were going to have another soccer moment from the defending World Cup country, but not this time. This one's just pure excellence here. Off the outside, that is such a fast set too. And DeFalco likes it that way. Big beach volleyball player too.
He has played domestically on the AVP Tour a couple of times. Former Long Beach State All-American. Here's Micah Ma'a, freshly into the match, his first serve. Polanski, that's the touch on the block. Christenson on the run. Bump set to DeFalco, he gets dug by Donani. Oh, chicken wing dig, and the Americans get it over. We'll play on. Nobody's there to hit that ball as Polanski was on his backside, and the Americans take the point.
Wow. First of all, incredible defense from the Americans. Look at this. Holt does not give up, but here's what I'm so confused about. DeCecco putting it back out there. He can see that Polanski's on the ground. So I don't know if he's trying to urge him to get up, because nobody's going to expect you to hit the ball, but that's going to deflate a team.
Let's listen into their timeout now with Coach Mendez.
Atención si hay alguna variante. Dejémosla centralizada si le pega el palo y la rotamos. ¿Estamos? Vamos, vamos con todo, vamos. Buena defensa.
Yeah, Claire, just to close out that thought, you got to appreciate the effort by Max Holt to get the ball over the net. Obviously, Polanski had to play it, but you're right. The fact that DeCecco didn't realize that his outside hitter was on the floor still set him there. That's a bit of a mental breakdown for Argentina.
And you know what? If I'm on Argentina's side, here's the thing. Max Holt had to make some kind of Hail Mary of a play. Why wasn't Donani there to dig it up? The libero should be kind of covering the whole court. There's not any way that Max Holt can put it at the back line. So I think he should have maybe stepped in to pass that ball.
Back to it as Ma'a goes with his jump serve. Good pass this time. Zerba through the middle, and Russell can't handle it.
You know, great bounce back from Argentina. You take a timeout, let's just go out there, let's reset, boom, get the point. Here's where they execute. Nice middle attack right down the middle.
First ball side out after the timeout for Argentina. Back to the 2-point lead here as we reach the business end of set number one. Ma'a goes back to the reserve holding area. Zerba will serve.
Ooh.
Russell lets it go, and that ball is long.
I was holding my breath because I wasn't sure what the call was going to be. That was so close, and great communication from the Americans to let it go. Let's look at the replay. Okay, I swear from up here, it looked a lot closer, Matt.
Way out, Claire. 20 serving 21.
Full ball length out.
Look at Christenson with the off-speed serve at Palacios. Gets him out of system. Lima, though, swings through to score.
Lima right now leading all players. I think that's his 7th point, his 5th attack point in this match. And that's really who Argentina is going with as their bread and butter to get the job done.
Especially in those out-of-system plays when the pass isn't up to the net. Back to it now. And right back through the middle, Max Holt goes cross-body for the winner.
Yeah, DeCecco almost looked intimidated by that. I don't know if he was ready for the defense, but here, watch this, back to one, crosses his body. DeCecco just not quite in the right position.
TJ DeFalco at the inline, down by one. 21 serving 22. DeCecco with the bump set back to Polanski. Good deflection. Chance for the Americans here. And it's Holt again through the middle, scoring on the counterattack.
Holt just showing his experience, his veteran ability. His jumping is just tremendous. He gets so high above the net, and I know that's what middle blockers are supposed to do, but I mean, he still does it. He hasn't lost his hops at 37 years old.
Deadlocked at 22. Americans have caught up again. Can they take the lead? They can with another block at the net. It's Holt and Russell.
And you can just see this is volleyball, hey? The swings of the game. No pun intended, but the Americans down a couple points. It was, I believe, what, 22-20, and now they're back.
And Argentina uses their second timeout now.
Dejémosla centralizada si podemos trabajar con el medio y podemos trabajar con la pipe también. ¿Estamos? Vamos, muchachos. Vamos de nuevo, señores. Vamos a buscarlo ahora. Vamos bien, dale. Vamos.
So the Americans take a 1-point lead here, 23-22, late phases of set number 1. The opening match of week 2 here in the VNL from Ottawa, Canada. TJ DeFalco at the inline once again. Goes off speed, catches the tape. It'll work out to be a service ace for DeFalco.
And I'm just looking at the body energy right now between Lasser and Lima, and this is when you just gotta leave it, okay? Because as a middle blocker, you shouldn't be taking that. It's hard when you're trying to make your position to get in for attack and the ball comes to you, but you just gotta let it go and kind of flush it, as we say.
Set point now for the Americans. TJ goes strong, but hits that one into the net.
Sigh of relief, if you will, for Argentina.
Well, you had to expect he was going to go aggressive. That toss maybe just a little bit too far out in front, but still set point for the Americans. Now Polanski to serve. This jump serve at Shoji. Christenson goes to Russell down the line, and the Americans do it. They take the opening set, 25-23. Aaron Russell swing down the line.
It's a great swing, and right now, if I'm Argentina, I'm thinking we missed an opportunity to win the first set. They were leading a couple of times. You know, they didn't look great, but at the same time, you can still win a set and not play great volleyball, and they let it get away. And for a team that is technically in an Olympic position right now, but hasn't punched their ticket, that's kind of worrying to me, okay? This is when you put your foot on the gas pedal, and there's 5 spots left right now to qualify for the Olympics. If it were to be today, it would be Italy, Slovenia, Argentina, Cuba, and Tunisia. So Argentina's in there, but knocking at the door is Serbia and the Netherlands. And guess who's also at this VNL? Serbia and the Netherlands. We are in the best place for VNL right now because we're getting all these hot matches that have so much pressure related to them.
It'll be exciting to watch as the week progresses and those Olympic spots really become more and more emphasized as we see stats from set number 1. Look at that, 15 attacks each. USA winning on blocks, equal on serves, and equal on opponent errors, Claire. A very evenly fought set number 1.
And you see it in the score too, 25-23. And I will say, you were the one that witnessed Argentina play in Rio. And you kind of said sometimes they didn't look super confident. Before the game, when I was talking again to Marcelo Mendez, he just wished they had a bit more time together to practice their systems to get in sync. Are you seeing, you know, any of a progression here from Rio?
I think in some areas they did look a little bit cleaner, like crisper. Their passing was better. In Rio, their passing was struggling. Obviously, the environment was much different. They played Brazil with 10,000 people in the stands, and so the pressure was a little bit different here on a neutral court. You know, they have some room to improvement, but they've got to close out that opening set.
And it's funny, you were talking about how you think their passing's improved a little bit. We're seeing the receiver accuracy here. Here's the United States, 40% are in the target zone, whereas before when you saw Argentina, only 30% were in the target zone. One thing they targeted was Vicente. They really kind of went after him as the Americans, served. So I'm interested to see where they go after in this second set and who's on the court.
Claire, let's set the stage here to start up set number 2 for the Americans. Got to have a little bit of a faster start. They closed out set number 1 very strongly, but you could see they kind of came out of the gates not quite stumbling, just a little unsure perhaps of, you know, what they were trying to do in certain situations.
Yeah, without a doubt. And you know, this is their first competition of the year. They've just trained for 2 weeks in Anaheim. And I remember every first set I ever played after training in competition, you're always just kind of like, oh yeah, the bright lights. the service, the whistle, everything, the rhythm of it. You're just kind of feeling it and reacclimating to everything. So it doesn't surprise me that the Americans were just a little out of sorts. It does surprise me that the Argentinians haven't pushed the envelope a little bit more, especially with a guy like DeCecco on the court, being one of the leaders that Marcelo Mendez said needs to elevate this group. The other ones being Bruno Lima, Santiago Danini, and DeCecco.
Here we go, set number 2 officially underway. Polanski with the swing, good cover. Second chance for Lima, cross court, one-on-one. He hits that ball back to area 6 for the winner.
So this is nice, okay? You get the perfect pass. So already your stats are better in serve receive, and now all 3 of your hitters pretty much have one-on-one blocks, and Lima takes advantage.
DeCecco serves it over to Anderson. He takes it with his hands, and then Christenson connects with Max Holt through the middle.
I'm just right now mesmerized by Max Holt. It's so fun to watch him. He soars, he's like an eagle up there, and he has so many options.
Very experienced is Max Holt. There's a good serve from DeFalco. Gets Argentina out of system. Lima against the triple block gets dug. And Russell on the counter attack in system. A fast set that time to the pin.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Lima has a triple block and he goes all out. I think that ball didn't hit any of the blockers, but DeFalco's like, okay, I'm gonna dig it, it's at me anyways. And then this transition ball, huge seam there, as Lasser is failing to close.
Well, if you're gonna dig the ball as it goes out of bounds, it better be a perfect dig.
Yeah.
Falco again goes aggressive at Polanski. Nani has to bump set all the way out to Lima. There's a nice deflection. Chance for the Americans again now. Anderson blocked, and it'll drop deep into the court.
And you see Argentina's really having to rely right now on their defense. Their passing's just not there. So the hitting options are pretty much, you're seeing Lima get all these balls on the outside because DeCecco can't set the middle. So they have to block and dig until they get some better passing.
See if they can tighten that up, but now it's Polanski. And the Americans off the perfect pass from Shoji go quick to Max Holt once again.
Yeah, a little stare down there between the middle blockers afterwards. I don't know if you noticed that. Lasser staring down Holt. Just a little look there. There it is.
Game within the game between the middles. These guys all know each other very well, playing against each other for their national teams, but also professional club teams as well.
Yeah, and so many of them play together, which is really interesting, and there's the camaraderie between players. You see the hugs before games when guys have played together, whether it's in Italy or Brazil or anywhere overseas.
Tied up at 3s for Lasser. Nice pass. Anderson doing what Anderson does best from the right side.
Yeah, that's his office, and he just went to work. He makes it look so easy too, and here he takes advantage of that little bit of seam and goes right there, right to position 1.
Matt will go back to the inline now. Toss, jump serve, catches the tape with a nice pass. And Argentina scores on that fast set overhead.
And that's a good pass there, in system. You're right to DeCecco. You can see it just on the right of your screen, but that just allows DeCecco to set with speed, split his hitters up, and make it confusing for the American blockers.
Very fast set overhead to Lima as he goes with his jump serve. Another solid pass from Shoji. And it's saved though from Lima. And Palacios, who's starting set number 2 in place of Vicenten, gets his first swing blocked.
I think for a second, I thought maybe Jendrick was going to get called on a reach over, but not quite. You see his hands are just perfect and just roofing.
Now it's Aaron Russell at the inline. Good serve to the corner, overpass, chance for the Americans. Russell on the big attack, and he scores. Strong serve from Russell led to the overpass. He got it right back in system, counterattack on the Bick. That was all set up from those attacks earlier to Max Holt that leaves the Bick attacker wide open. DeCecco with the chance, goes left side. Palacios gets dug. Anderson has to work around Jendrik, but his shot goes off the block and down on Argentina's side.
Yeah, Serba had some issues there. Anderson goes up and he's tipping it. And the thing is, Serba, I think he wishes he could have had a bit more hang time to throw it back. Maybe he jumped a bit too early, but you got to really watch the hitter, watch their arm, what's happening, and then make a decision as a blocker in the air.
Russell on a nice service run here, except that time he goes into the net.
Yeah, gives it right back to Argentina. And here's where I believe Lima, no, pardon me, it's not Lima serving. I mixed up my rotations there. This is where Palacios needs to go back and do some work. They're down by 2. Here's the urgency we need to see from Argentina.
Palacios starting set 2, hasn't gotten any points yet. Spins that serve in, taken care of by Russell, but there's a dig. Woo! Set from DeCecco, but kept alive. DeFalco now goes aggressive. No touch called. Will we see our first challenge of the match? We will.
It's like you were reading John Spera's mind there. But you could see also the hesitation of the first referee. There was a little lag because they knew it was so close. They weren't sure what call to make.
So the referees have the instant replay system up on the stand for ball in out. Now if they see the touch on the block, they obviously can call it. But what we've seen in previous matches is that the blockers won't admit it until a challenge is requested.
Now I think this challenge is on block touch, or, you know, yes, block touch. That's what I believe too. But it was even so close here in the end line that you weren't sure. So, whoa, no block touch.
Now you can see on the replay there, frame by frame, just missing the fingertips of Polanski. Coach Spera 0 for 1 on the challenges this week.
Another stat we should keep.
We'll keep a
Very
running tally on
important
that one for John. But the break and play worked out for a service error from Palacios. So the Americans maintain that 2-point lead now. Jeff Jendrik just played his professional season over in Italy. This jump float serve. Passed well. Polanski from the left. And there's a touch on the block.
Yeah, he sold that. He was really asking for that.
Hold on a minute. So we've got a call touched against the Americans, but now we're going to get another challenge come in.
Yeah, and you can see John Spera saying no touch. And now Polanski, after he hit that ball, he really sold it. He said, yeah, touch, and he was looking at the referee, and then the referee called touch. So I think the referee bought into this one. Now he's saying, okay, no, we'll challenge.
I think there was a little lost in translation here between Polanski calling for a touch, our first official looking at the American blockers, who then made some hand motions like we didn't touch it, but our first official then thought that they did admit to a touch. So let's see on the replay here. No block touch. And Spera goes to one-on-one on the week for his challenges.
Yep. You are a great statistician so far.
Stay on top of that one. Jendrik goes with his jump float. Danani, here comes Lima, and he puts it away down the line.
That's a nice play here by Argentina. Again, the pass is perfect. And I know it's impossible to pass perfect every time, but I think that needs to be just a focus. The serve receive, starting with Danani, needs to just really key in, have communication on who's taking what seam so they can get the ball to DeCecco, because their game changes entirely when they get the good pass up.
Certainly see the emphasis on first ball, perfect pass offense. DeFalco from the left side, he gets that ball off of DeCecco's block.
Just ticks it too. Sometimes coaches say, hey, let's all trim our fingernails before this game because you never know what's going to get called. That one might have been a bit more of the finger, but yeah, just a light touch there from DeCecco.
Big serve from Christenson. Lima down the line, and he scores.
I like this rhythm right now. Both teams are feeling it. They're kind of going back and forth, exchanging points. Look how much line Lima had. And Shoji, he's the one that's tasked with digging all of that.
Yeah, there was a lot of line that time down that seam. That Shoji was in the right spot, but Lima with the aggressive swing. Oh, Max Holt going in with the off-speed shot, the changeup to throw it down.
First time we've seen him give a bit of different speed there out of the middle, which is really smart play. You keep the defenders guessing. In this case, Checo expecting that hard hit ball, has to change it up, can't get the dig.
So DeFalco now serving. There's Polanski in system right side. One-handed dig from Christenson. Russell against the triple block. And he hammers it back to zone 5 for the point.
Great swing here. First of all, it's a nice dig. DeFalco steps in, triple block, and he tries to go deep 5. He gets it. And I think Donani here a little upset he couldn't get that dig because he was almost in position.
More adjustments now from Argentina. Facundo Conte has come in. He replaces Polanski. It's a front row player. Let's see if DeCecco goes to him. Can't. There's Loser, nice dig. Max Holt with the jump set, but it's tight. There's a good recycle. And then Max gets it right back. Well played by the Americans.
Yeah. Some trick plays here up at the net, some playing with the blocks. And again, though, it's Christenson, like the way he was angled when he set that ball, he can set it wherever his shoulders are facing. You know, whether it's over his left shoulder, over his right shoulder. It's so amazing. Christenson, obviously one of the elite setters in the world.
So a 5-point lead results in an Argentina timeout
estamos
now.
jugando nada más que con el medio y con lo opuesto. Nosotros con la punta no la estamos pasando, así que tenemos que tratar de activar eso, por tener una salida más adelante. Si hay una salida más adelante, tratar de ayudar a Luciano en esa distribución de juego. ¿Estamos? ¡Vamos!
So let's see if Argentina can make some adjustments here after their first timeout. Got to respond here as the Americans have responded here in the first half of set 2. Get back to it now with TJ DeFalco and his jump serve. Good pass, quick set to Loser, dug up though. Holt steps in the set over to Anderson, and there's a net violation against the triple block.
Great communication on the American side. For Holt, he was so vocal. Shoji was right behind him, ready to take that set. And then here's the thing. This is a bad mistake by the Argentinians because when you see an out-of-system ball, you think, okay, automatically, let's get a big block, let's try to get this. So they're just kind of letting it slip away right now.
Big serve that time from DeFalco. Conte out of system, tough situation for him to swing, and he hits that one into the net for the air.
I give him some credit for swinging on that, okay? Because it's a tough angle. You've had an out-of-system pass. DeCecco has made a great play. It's better to try to swing on it than give a free ball in a way, you know, but you got to make a smarter play, obviously, in the air.
Not the result he was looking for, as we'll play on now. Chance for Lima from the left side. And he hits it through and gets the touch off of Matt Anderson's head.
Yeah, just gets his hair cut. He's got that nice gel, you know? His hair looks great. Didn't work out for him on that play, though.
There's Conte, longtime national team member for Argentina. Good pass in, and DeFalco off speed gets picked up. Lima down the line is dug. Anderson from the right, DeCecco's there. And it's Lima going off the triple block and out of bounds for the point.
Yeah, smart play. Really smart play. There was great coverage. You see Facundo Conte. He's following that ball to the line, making sure it is out. And speaking of Conte and also DeCecco, these are two of the more experienced guys on this team. Before the game, I was asking Marcelo Mendez, how much time do you think they're going to keep playing? And he said, I think this might be their last Olympic cycle. They haven't said that, but he just suspects that.
Only time will tell, obviously. Olympics is the pinnacle of professional volleyball, playing for your country. But the Americans here, another perfect pass from Shoji. Gives Anderson a one-on-one swing from the right side.
Yeah, and the Americans are just kind of pulling away in this set. I don't know, you know, Argentina's going to have to come up with some big plays, a bit of a burst of energy to get back.
6-point lead now for the Americans. Roser. A sharp wrist away that time.
Yeah, maybe that's the start. Did they hear us speaking? Great pass. Again, DeCecco, when the pass is perfect, you know, he's saying, okay, I'm going to give it to the middles. And that is a nice cut back to 5.
So after the point in the front row, Roser serves. Pass from Shoji, and Jendrik goes through the middle, but he misses it long.
And he's just missed. He's in disbelief. He's got his head in his hands. He said, okay, that's me. I love this replay, though. Oh, okay. Woo! No way! Just out. Okay, yeah, that's why his head is in his hands. And from the angle he hit it, it definitely looks like it might have been in. Just a whip of an arm.
Roser gives the point back with that service error. Mendez from the sideline in deep thought here about what adjustments this team's got to do. Make this 5-point advantage a little closer with Matt Anderson at the end line. His offering goes long.
They can afford to make some mistakes on the service line. You know, you're going hard, it's just out, that's okay. You make the other team, in this case Argentina, think about whether it's going to be in or out. You can put the pressure on when you're up by 4 points. That is not so bad. That's not a good miss.
For Argentina, they've got to make their serves,
yes,
is what you're saying, right?
Exactly.
There.
Well, you still have pressure. You got to put a hard serve in, but you got to, it's like if you're going to take your foot off the gas pedal a bit in the serve, it's okay, but you got to put it in.
Let's see what Aaron Russell does now.
3 in a row. 4 in a row. Again, sorry, you guys, Matt's giving me the numbers here. He's saying, Claire, that was 4. He's the best statistician, unofficial statistician. And here's the thing, Russell took some speed off of that. He was really trying to place that serve.
Really trying to place that one on Palacios and just missed wide. So a 4-point lead now. There we go. We'll see some volleyball now. Anderson from the back row. Donani saves it, but Conte is not going to be able to put that one over.
That was tough. Very quick reaction from Donani to the pass that wasn't great. I mean, the front row, that's a hazard zone. I think those tickets should come with a warning that you may make contact with a player when they're going to save the ball. They're the exciting seats for so many reasons.
They make you sign a waiver before you sit down.
Yeah. Well, during warm-ups, when we're doing our position, you know, for hosting, I think I almost got hit a couple times by a ball from Donani as they were practicing warm-ups. And anyways, it's scary. We might be on air with a black eye at some point.
Micah Ma'a on to serve now for Jendrik. Meanwhile, for Argentina, Kirkartsev and Pages have come in. Double substitution, so they've got 3 hitters through the front row. Micah Ma'a, serve. Side to Conte, blocked but covered. Second chance, he gets it back against Christenson and goes off the block and down.
And just a different look here for Argentina with Matias Sanchez in there. I mean, he's much shorter than DeCecco, very different style, but he brings a different type of energy.
We saw this substitution come in Rio multiple times. Sanchez Pages ended up staying on throughout the remainder of that 5-set victory that they got.
An Olympic bronze medalist, he knows what it takes to get to the Olympics.
Serve though, finds the net. And it's back to a 5-point lead for the Americans. Christenson Goes off speed at Conte. Kukartsev's first swing. It's dug by Russell. Kept alive. Second chance against the triple block, and Kukartsev finds a way through.
Yeah, and Conte just came in hot, setting that ball up, even though Sanchez was there. But it ends up working out because there's a really nice attack cross court, and I think the Americans may have actually been surprised that Conte was the one to take that second ball. Just didn't get their defense quite in their sorts.
So Lima comes back on for Argentina into the front row. No setter on the floor now for Argentina. And Kukartsev goes aggressive but misses long.
Oh, wow. Wow, that one is so close. Closer than the one we saw before. And I was wondering why Kukartsev, you know, was looking at the ref that closely, but it's because it was that close. Just from the hair of his chinny chin chin, hey?
So after that missed serve, Argentina calls their second timeout.
Una vez, está segundísimo punto, estamos en condiciones, busquemos la punta, no cerremos ángulo en ataque y juguemos, generemos voleibol, disfrutemos del voleibol un poco. Dale, vamos.
So here we see Facundo Conte coming back onto the court. As I was mentioning before, he's 34 years old. DeCecco's 36 years old. This might be their last shot at another Olympic Games. They both won the bronze in Tokyo 3 years ago. You know, and if you do the math, DeCecco would be 40 at the next Olympic Games. Conte would be 38. I mean, it's not like it can't happen, but you kind of wonder, you know, how much desire do they have? This is where you got to dig deep. Do you want to be in Paris on July 27th?
I think if you asked any of them right now, they'll say yes.
But it's interesting because how much does that pressure influence you? And I asked Lasser, I'm like, how do you deal with the pressure? And he says, well, we're athletes, we're used to it.
Conte goes with his jump serve. Comes Russell, goes with a left hand and throws it down for the point. A bit unorthodox, but still very useful.
Yeah, and I love this dialogue. Russell constantly talking to Christenson or Ma, whoever's on the court at the time. Of course, in this case, it is Christenson, just because the Americans, for them, they're trying to get back to that American style of play. They have not played together. They know that this is the Olympic squad. They're the only men's team that has declared who is going to be in Paris, which is a huge luxury because now they can practice on systems and that chemistry that they want on the court come Paris.
Chatia with the jump serve. Goes off speed of Palacios to Checo on the run, and they work out of it to score on that high ball situation.
Yep, Argentina just chipping away here, slowly but surely. Chatia here with a serve that didn't have as much pace. I mean, he's just getting substituted in, so he's a little cold. That's always a tough position to be coming in, you know, at the end of the second set.
18 serving 22. Loser. Good pass from Russell. Falco gets dug. Palacios is covered. Gets it right back. And he goes high fingers for the point.
I think Argentina was lucky to get the point here because when I'm watching the coverage, Lima is almost standing straight up when his other hitters are attacking. Here, see that? Straight up. He's not ready to dig that ball. When you have an attacker, everybody needs to be supporting them and ready to cover. And I'm just surprised at maybe the lack of spark or urgency from this Argentinian team being down just 3 points.
We are going to
listen to the USA's huddle here during this timeout.
Well, we got to be balanced. G, you're moving a little bit, so be balanced, okay?
All right. Guys, remember like this. Hey, we have 3-1 in first tempo on zone 1. Yes. Long, deep, and we did the line all the time in perfect and plus.
Yeah.
Hey, we're okay here. Let's go. Right out. 23.
I heard him saying something about the line. Now, I don't know if they're trying to block line, hit line, take line.
Only time will tell, Claire. Hopefully, situationally, they're talking about in-tempo offense, something like that. So now it's 19 serving 22. Argentina trying to fight back in here. Pass from TJ, left side Russell. in system, and that one finds the court.
And you see Argentina's defense. Conte's really up in position 6 here. He's not very deep. There's a big block seam, but I'm surprised that Argentina hasn't adjusted and just tried to move back a little bit, be closer to the perimeter of the court.
USA just 2 points away now. That serve gets away from Anderson.
I don't think he contacted it the way he wanted to. I think he kind of whiffed on the ball. Kind of looked like it almost floated. Usually he's got a pretty hard spin and just didn't quite get that, what I like to call an ice cream scoop contact on the ball.
Okay, ice cream scoop contact.
Scientific volleyball knowledge.
See what Lima does with his contact. Finds the court. Good pass, though. And Jendrik, who's back on, finds the point through the middle.
Such a textbook swing. Jendrik, his body is completely open to the setter. You're going to see this here. The pass is nice, but he just gets there, floats, and then when the ball comes to him, okay, that's when he unleashes. That's when he attacks.
Set point for the Americans now. Serve to the corner. Nice pass from Lima. Palacios finds a way through as the American block wasn't over the net.
Here, another look at it. And Jendrik's just late. You know, he kind of thinks it might be going middle because the pass is perfect and he's late to close, but the Americans have 4 more chances here to close this game out.
Palacios missing long. That's how set number 2 will end, on another Argentina service error.
And I'm interested to see the breakdown, too, of the errors, because to me, Argentina just didn't feel crisp in that set. And the breakdown in that first set, very equal, but set 2 didn't seem as sharp for them.
So perhaps a little hangover from that first set comeback by the Americans against Argentina. They were a little slow to start set number 2, and the Americans didn't quite run away with it, but they were in the lead the entire set.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you're up in set 1 against the number 3 ranked team in the world who's coming in fresh, that is the time you put the nail in the coffin. And it was a missed opportunity from Argentina, and now they find themselves down 2 sets to none. Are they gonna reverse sweep? Like, that is so hard to do against an American squad that's just had 2 solid weeks of practice and coming in fresh. Here, let's look at the opponent errors. Okay, it's actually just 9-8. So the Americans did make some errors too. A lot of those were in serve. I think you counted 4 serves that were missed in a row. I counted 3, but we're not gonna listen to Claire's counting. It's not good. But then, you know, blocks are pretty equal, 1-1, but it's the attacks, USA. And I know in the first set we got a breakdown of how the reception looked from both teams, and it was the Americans that just had stronger passing up to Christenson or Ma in a bit in the second set. And it was just Argentina's serve receive is not sloppy. And I give credit to the Americans serving. They've really put a lot of pressure on that serve. You saw Russell changing up the speed, taking off the speed a bit to try to place that serve right in the position of position 4. So this is interesting. Win probability. 57% at the start for the Americans. Now it's 69%. I know that's new this year, but I think that's really interesting. Anyways.
Let's throw it down to Rob Snoke, who's with John Spara for an interview.
What have you liked most about what you've seen from your team today?
We're up 2-0, especially in that first set. I thought, first time we're getting out on the court. We haven't been together playing in an environment like this since last summer. So for us to get down early, not too surprising, but for us to come back, I thought was really great.
What do you need to do to get it across the finish line here?
We got to serve a little bit better and put some more pressure on them. I thought it was an uninspiring finish to the set, I think, on both teams. So I'd like to get out there, play a little bit more energy, play a little bit cleaner as we finish up.
Thanks for taking time for us.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Rob. Coach John Spara, fresh off an NCAA championship down in the United States with UCLA. Going back-to-back for that one, and only had 1 day off between the last point being scored in that championship final to then going into the gym with Team USA to prepare for this summer.
And he said on that day off he went to a wedding. So he said he spent it with family, but I mean, that's not exactly downtime either. It's not like you're going home just hanging by the pool with the kids.
Let's check in with Rob, who is now with Argentina's head coach, for a word.
Your team was very good in that first set, and obviously a tough second set. What's your message now going to be?
I think the first set play good in attack, play good in block also. But in the second set we have a lot of mistake in attack. We serve a lot in deliver. We have this kind of mistake, and it's difficult again. This USA play in this level.
All right, thanks for taking time for us. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Now, Coach Mendez obviously showing respect to the United States, playing some strong volleyball so far, and you can see a kind of the look on his face is, you know, what do I have to tell my team to get them to and turn the ship around a little bit?
Yeah, it's dejected. And I think John Sparrow said it perfectly, an uninspiring finish to the set for both teams. It's kind of, it was, you know, it's Volleyball Nations League in a year before the Olympics, and you're expecting to see really high level of play. And I think right now they're kind of just coasting, which is a surprise for me, especially from the Argentina side. Now, right now we're looking at setter contacts. This is the point of contact. Obviously, you want it in the target zone. Here, the Americans 58% in that target zone, 0 in the outer zone. So right now, Micah Christenson and Ma are pretty happy.
Getting ready to start set number 3 here from Ottawa, the opening match. 16 matches total here throughout the remainder of the week. No changes on either side. Excuse me, stand corrected. Claire spots Taylor Averill into the front row. Middle blocker wearing number 19. There he is. In red, taking over for to be taking over for the other middle blocker, Jeff Jendrick. So he gets replaced by Shoji, but that's the only change in the lineups for either side.
And going back to something John Sparrow said, let's try to define our rules. Who can come into the game? Who can do something different? They're just really trying to fine-tune things before the Olympics. That's the main goal.
Now back underway, and DeFalco scores the opening point on that out-of-system set against the triple block.
Yeah, great swing cross court. And going back to that thought again, John Sparrow was asked, okay, well, do you guys want to make the finals in Poland? Because they only got 1 win when they had that younger team in Poland, or pardon me, in Turkey. And he said, well, yes, because if we're playing well, if we're doing our thing, we'll be in Poland. And so it is a goal, but the #1 priority for the summer is getting ready for the Olympics. So it's kind of like goal 1B.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, they find themselves in a strange situation. Currently in, I believe, 12th place in the VNL standings coming into week number 2 with only 1 win out of those opening 4 matches they played just 2 weeks ago. Anderson from the left side. Smart swing that time by the veteran, Matt Anderson.
Yeah. Anderson's only facing 2 blockers. He goes on that really sharp angle, pounds it off of the hands, way far out. Veteran player. Sometimes I want to know from their perspective when they're in the air what they're thinking. You know, is he thinking, okay, I should just go off hands sharp? Because he's got so many options, given the kind of sets he's getting as well.
I think if you're a young volleyball player that is an outside hitter watching this and you see slow motion replays like that by Matt Anderson, you see that he's not aiming down into the court, but he's actually aiming at the blocker's hands to either get a recycle play or an off the hands out of play as another way to score the point. Lima goes aggressive down the line, but misses it just wide as Aaron Russell lets it go.
Marcelo Mendez also coaches Jastrzębski Węgiel in Poland, and you can see him just, I mean, he's calm on the sides right now. That's his style, but I want to see him get angry at the team. I want to see him try to light a fire after that uninspiring finish to set 2.
Big serve there, another out-of-system play. Lima from the middle of the back row, covered, but Conte out of position on that one.
He jumped a little too soon. I think if he'd been patient, he actually would have been able to cover this ball. Here, DeCecco gets the first hand and he tries to jump rather than just turning and running.
Averill into the front row. Maxwell Holt to serve. Pass from Conte. And Palacios goes wrist away into the angle.
Yeah, nice smack here. Great attack on the outside. Plays with a lot of the court. And there, just one blocker too. He takes advantage. He sees that, he goes after it.
So Polanski, excuse me, this is Palacios with the serve. Goes at Russell, and Averill scores on his first chance.
He comes in, he's fresh, he knows it, and you know, the beauty of coming in a third set is you've kind of seen how the block structure's working for another team, okay? I mean, he didn't have a middle block there, so he just goes and soars and puts it away. But you've gotten a chance to kind of like watch how the other team's gonna defend you.
Now Matt Anderson. This serve catches the tape.
A little frustration there from the veteran. Best outside hitter in the Champions League this season with Ankara.
Here's Zerba, the middle blocker. Goes it to Falco, good pass. And Anderson uses the block for the point.
And here's what's nice. Christenson, you know, he knows that Anderson just flubbed it. Let's go right back to him. Let's get him rhythming it, okay? Yeah, I know, I said it flubbed, but he flubbed it, okay? And it's nice, you just want to kind of like almost give your player an opportunity to redeem themselves on the next play. I know as a hitter, that's really valuable.
I completely agree. I think Christenson and Anderson have played together for so long. Micah knows when to go to Matt, especially after a missed serve like that. Gets him back on track.
Like Batman and Robin.
Yeah, but who's the sidekick?
We'll let them sort it out.
Nice cover, kept alive. Ooh. Tight set, goes over. Conte sets to Checo. And DeFalco puts it away.
Oh, man. What a swing. This is just, he rips this cross court. Amazing. And it was a missed opportunity for Argentina because DeCecco, when he got that first ball, I think he was setting it out to Polanski, who didn't hit it, or Conte rather.
Back to it, good pass in. Here's a chance for Conte. Foot dig by Anderson, run down by Russell, and just a free ball over. DeCecco goes back to Conte, and he throws it down for the point. But you've got to applaud the effort, Claire.
100%, but here is the fire from Argentina that they have been missing, okay? So yeah, they get the free ball back. Here goes back to Conte, and he puts it away, but it's just a change up, but he still is fired up. Sometimes you don't need to bang it, but they need energy right now, and I see Conte bringing a lot of that to the court. Just his facial expressions.
Conte brings a lot of experience as well to this team when he's on court. Good ball in from Russell, goes back to Anderson, tries to go down the line, but misses it wide.
I'd almost argue he's just being a little too cute. He's trying to, you know, just tickle the line there, but it's out, and I think he had more space to put it in.
Threading the needle and just missing. So Argentina down by 1. Make it even now after the service ace from DeCecco.
And don't you just feel the momentum? It's shifted ever so slightly. I know it's just 7-7, but all of a sudden there's a couple American errors. Great serve that gets Russell and Choji just out of communication. And this is where I'm interested to see the response from the Americans.
DeCecco goes short at Russell this time. Good deflection. DeCecco with the dig. Chance for Conte. And Conte scores on the high ball.
So Russell touches it on the way out, but I don't know if there was a block touch. So he kind of just flies his, and I don't even know if we'll see it on the replay. Here we go. Great camera angle. So there was a touch. Averill touches it. So he had to, but you know, just flings a chicken wing out, doesn't get much on it.
Our angle up in the broadcast booth doesn't always offer the best view on those touches. Averill comes right back, though, going quick through the middle. So 2 early points for the new middle blocker.
Yeah, and they're really getting Avril involved early here. He's gotten a lot of touches, just being, 8 points into the match here. And I think this is the kind of thing that John Speraw is really going to be looking at closely for the Olympics. Okay, so I can put Avril in, and he makes an immediate impact. So, boom, we can do that when it comes to Paris.
Also changes up the look from the end line, spins it in this time. And then Losair scoring through the middle once again. So a little back and forth we go. We see the Americans run quick, then Argentina goes quick, but really it's all about the pass.
100%. And this level of volleyball feels more elite right now. This third set, for the first time, I feel like, okay, this is Volleyball Nations League style, okay? Bring it. Give us more.
There's Conte, goes aggressive, but that one misses long.
You can see the frustration as Conte was really going for it, trying to put the pressure on the service line. He knows he has to. They have to do something. They're down 2 sets.
Playing with a little more emotion, but still looking for that spark and a little run to break away. Christenson goes off speed. Lima is stopped at the net. Holt and DeFalco were there for the block point.
Yes, and DeFalco has put together a quiet 9 points in this match so far. There's been a couple big bangs, but some of the blocks, some of the things he's doing away from the play can't be understated.
I like how simple that block move was that resulted in the point. Another chance. This time Lima goes up high, catches the fingers, and finds the floor.
What a tricky play. Very smart. He totally curves that ball, okay? He really put some spin on that.
So tied up at 10s for Losair to serve. Off speed at Russell. Handles it well. And DeFalco turns it into the block of Palacios, and Argentina will score the point.
And it's a one-on-one block, and that gives a team so much confidence. Look at this Palacios. He's just up there. Nice. Over. No, nobody's there to close it, but that's going to make him feel good.
See if the Americans can work out of rotation 1 here. Losair, another big serve. This time it's Anderson on the left. He gets dug. Palacios against the triple block, and the Americans score.
Yeah, they made him pay. They made him pay back for the one that that he had on DeFalco. And that's a great triple block from the Americans. They know where the ball's going. They're out there. They're camped out there.
So DeFalco at the inline. Tied up at 11s. Checo from well off the net goes back to Palacios. Dug. High ball chance for Russell. And the off-speed swing finds the block and scores in area 1.
And the Americans again take the lead. And here, I love the craftiness of this. Again, you talked about if you're a young player watching this, it doesn't always need to be a huge swing. It has to be well placed, well thought out.
Second serve for DeFalco. Goes short this time. Lima into the block, covered by Palacios. Second chance for Lima, and he finds the seam between the blockers.
Lima continues to be the points leader on both sides of the court. And right now, he is DeCecco's favorite target. He's gotten a lot of sets. In fact, that was his 13th attack point.
He rotates to the back row now as he will serve. And that one finds the net. Here's Max Holt. 9 points on the night for him so far. Looking for his first service point. He's aggressive at Conte. Palacios has to step into set. There's going to be a back row violation called against Lima on that swing.
And I think DeCecco's really just trying to lead him, trying to, give him as much time to get that approach, but that's where it's tricky because it can't be too tight. And I think the set was almost like it was a front row set, hey? That's tough.
So the Americans build a 2-point lead here. Holt off speed. Serve is air. Hate to see that indecision on the serve, especially after getting them out of system on the previous play, that time going off speed into the net.
Yeah, and sometimes you wonder if it's just the toss was a bit off and he's forced to change it up without wanting to.
Oh! Taylor Averill denting the floor, another point through the middle for him.
This was massive. And on the side, David Smith is just doing some crazy dance. The whole bench is celebrating for Team USA as Averill has found his groove in this match.
3 points for the former University of Hawaii middle blocker. Serba through the middle, nice diving save from Shoji. Christenson's gonna swing. That one gets picked up. Checo finds Serba again, but kept alive. Russell against the triple block, and he carves it under the block and down for the point.
Beautiful play. And I think he actually took time to look at the other side of the court here. Russell sees that that is a wide open spot, and Denani isn't there. I mean, on defense, that's really hard. You've got a lot of court to cover when you've got a triple block, but you've also got a hitter coming in that direction.
Las oportunidades para
Argentina using their second
sigamos
timeout
buscando
now.
el partido, se puede. Vamos punto por punto, se puede. Busquen en el saque a los puntas, busquen masa de Falco, ¿sí? O al otro punta. No la aflojen el saque alto al medio, Péguenle al saque en una dirección en los puntas, señores. Trabajemos bloqueo.
¡Vamos, muchachos! Dale.
Coach Mendez always very calm to his players. You said earlier, who's going to be the spark for this team of Argentina? We saw a little pressure from them, but now the Americans have kind of matched it.
Yeah.
So they're kind of back into this kind of flux area where they're not sure who's going to be that spark plug.
You know, I specifically asked Mendez before this game, I said, which leaders do you really look to rely on? And he listed Lasser, Denani, Checo. He says these are the guys that I need to raise the level, and all three of them are on the court right now.
Back to it from Matt Anderson at the end line. Goes aggressive but misses long, so the timeout worked for Argentina.
Yeah, and Donati cheering like it's just like they pounded a ball away. He's like, yes, okay, let's go, let's use that. Come on, guys.
Russell, once again from the left side, scores the point.
Yeah, the Americans are just right now in this calm rhythm. I don't even feel like they are exerting that much effort. They make it look really easy, and it's impressive given that this is their first match because none of these players traveled to week 1 in Turkey.
Team 14, nice ball in, and Loser goes with the big crossbody swing that time.
He's been really impressive in this game. He's gotten a lot of points. That's his 4th attack point, I believe. And in the middle, very deadly when he connects perfectly with Checo.
Doing what he does best, that drift route, opening up that seam for him to attack, but Checo comes right back, unfortunately, with a service error that doesn't help the cause.
Yeah, and Shoji very athletically gets out of the way of that ball because it was coming fast.
Well, when you're an elite libero, you've got to be able to pass the ball, but also dodge. So it's 18-15 for Averill. Goes off speed at Conte. Checo gives it right back to his teammate. Anderson was there for the dig, but just a free ball back over the net. Advantage Argentina now. And Conte goes with a hard cross-court winner.
You know, he has added a big spark. When he came in the second set, took him a little while to get his groove with Argentina, but you've really seen him coming along, and he knows the angles. He sees the block well, and he's finding the gaps between the seams.
Well, Argentina down by 2. They could use a couple of quick points, whether it's a service ace or a block point here. High ball set coming into Falco. Checo has to step in, out of system. Argentina, nice one-handed scoop. Anderson hits it right back and punishes that one down the line.
Anderson made Argentina pay for this error. And look at that dig. and he gets up so quickly, nobody expects that he's gonna get the set. And that's where he's got all this, and look at the wink to his setter. Yeah, you know I'll be there. I've got your back. That's the Batman and Robin we're talking about.
Christenson now. Goes off speed. Palacios, good pass. Loser on the back quick that time, works nicely.
Yeah, and he's been impressive these past couple of cycles. He's had some pretty good blocking. And his attacks have been, he's varied them up. He's gone to position 5, he's gone to position 1.
Serving 19, set 3. Good pass from Anderson. Covered, but the Americans can't get it over.
And right now, here's where Argentina needs to show their mettle, okay? They're down by 1 point. This is a big match for them in terms of, like, each set gets you more points, you know? And can they push this to a 4th set? They're down by just a single point.
John Spurra calls a timeout. Let's listen in.
Come back, guys. Hey, great pass on that outside to side if you get another chance like that.
We're going to get some more. Okay. Good.
Yeah. Only remember, that's on 1, lead, it's very sold also. In the first tempo, leave the line, with perfect apply, leave the line. This is one option, and to the next, okay? Let's go.
I got us, guys. 1, 2, 3. USA.
David Smith looked a little perplexed there. I don't know why he's not in the court, but he looked surprised at something that was said. Oh, maybe, oh no, I thought he might be coming into the game, but nope, that was Holt. The Americans very much in control.
Well, they're getting some pressure now from Loser at the end line. Argentina just 1 point away, tying it up. The serve goes long, and Spurra takes the coach's point for that timeout.
Yeah, and that's never a good way to come off of the, or come back onto the court after a timeout. Missing a serve like that when you've really pushed the Americans.
So the Americans hit 20. DeFalco with the serve, goes aggressive at contact. Serva connects, but kept alive. Russell navigates it through the block. There's Lima. Stop, but good cover. Tight set from DeCecco. Alive. A chance to Palacios, and this time he finds a way through.
Great resilience from Argentina. Not giving up. There was the coverage. There was the recycling off of the block. And then just punches it through. Really just says, okay, I'm going to challenge this block, and I'm going to go cross court, and scores.
Resilience is a great way to put that. Sometimes it takes 2, 3, 4, 5, sometimes even swings before you can score the point. Lima has a service ace from earlier. This time it's passed well. DeFalco on the big attack, scores wrist away.
Now watch this, Donati here on defense. He's kind of reading it cross court, and then he sucks into the middle. I don't know if we're going to see that, and he wishes he was, you know, he knows he was out of position. He could have had that cross court angle, but he's just wondering, is it going to go middle attack or is it going to go back row? And that's why Christenson's so good. You never know where he's going to set.
So Micah Ma'a comes on to serve from Max Holt. Good pass from Donati. And Zerba goes up high to score it through the middle.
Yeah, Serva really keeping Argentina alive at this point. You do not want to go down 2 points at this juncture of the game.
More changes coming from Argentina. They're going to go with the double substitution now. Sanchez Pages comes into the back row, as does Kurtsev into the front row. 20 serving 21. Diving dig, but it goes back over the net. Chance for the Americans. And it'll be called 4 contacts against the United States.
Yeah, you never want to get blocked by the net. It happens. It happens, but it doesn't feel good.
No, it does not. Taylor Averil's a little disappointed that That swing was wide open through the seam, and he just misses it.
He had a good opportunity there.
So we're tied now at 21s. But the serve goes long from Palacios, and he lets the Americans off the hook.
And he knows that that's a major, crucial error, because they kind of they tied things up. They forced the Americans to make a big mistake. They can make them pay, and then he just lets it go away. So here's the ticket. Drop that, move on, get a side out.
Well, Matt Anderson at the end line now, one of the best servers for the United States. Goes off speed at Donati. And through the middle, Sanchez Pages finds Serba for the point.
Good dish. And again, Matias Sanchez just comes in, and he's a really good setter. Oh, but it's out. I believe there was a touch there.
Point for Argentina, tied at 22s. Anderson swings through to area 6. The Americans take the lead right back.
And so here you see that dialogue between Anderson and Christenson just on where the location of the set is. I actually think maybe Matt Anderson, maybe he wanted that just a bit higher because he seemed to drop his shoulder. Like he couldn't get it at the top of the peak of the set. And I mean, you want to, if you get it the highest possible, you get a better angle. So I think that was maybe part of the discussion.
I'm sure they're going to talk about it now during this Argentina timeout.
They'll hash it out.
Vamos con paciencia esta bola, recepción y side out. Concentrado en esto, en trabajar la pelota esta. Después vemos lo que pasa.
That's a very simple message from Marcelo Mendez. And I don't even understand, you know, all Spanish, but reception and side out. And that has really been the key, as the Americans have had some really solid serving in this match, and we've seen service errors from Argentina, passes, you know, making life tough for whether it's Sanchez or Pacheco. So if they want to close this set out and then have come up with kind of a new game plan for set 4, it just needs to be that simple side out game.
Well, they're still down by 1 here in set 3. The Americans looking to close it out. Good pass from Donati. And Palacios gets a chance out of the back row.
Smart play. And I'm not sure if he would have intended to do this or if the set was just a little low for him. I don't know if he actually had the opportunity to get a swing on that, but it works out. And Shoji, just, I think he's grimacing in disappointment for not getting that dig.
So Kukartsev will serve. Lima has come into the front row. No setter on the floor for Argentina. And Avril working around. Christenson scores through the middle.
It just seems so automatic. He's kind of drifting. It's nice, and that gives him some space to, you know, tuck it back to position 5 as he's sucking in that Argentinian defense.
Well, Avril will come out. Tutui will serve at match point now for the Americans. Spins it to Palacios. Pacheco takes a look, goes overhead to Conte. And he gets the point on that crossbar winner.
And I can see Holt and DeFalco talking, because DeFalco, I think, really pushed his block out here. Look on the right of your screen. And Holt couldn't quite close it. It was just too late.
So the Americans reverse that substitution. We're tied up at 24s. First one to score 2 points will win the set. DeFalco goes cross court, and it finds the sideline.
Paints that line. And you know, he got a mouthful from Holt in the last rally because of how, you know, he was late to closing the block, and I think he's like, okay, well, I'll show the team that, you know, I can recoup. He recovers well.
Point number 2 now for the Americans. Christenson spins it at Conte. Pacheco with the bump set. Good block, but a better cover. Second chance, Lima. Another block and cover. An overset now. And the Americans close it out. DeFalco finishes it with the cross-court winner. And the United States wins their opening match in a convincing 3-set sweep over Argentina.
third set. That's where they felt the most pressure. They were trailing a few times, but